I'm just reading comments. Howdy, y'all. What in the AMC is going on? Well, I'll tell you what. I can talk all about that, actually. The AMC was worked on last night. That's the reason I'm so damn tired. I didn't get done till about midnight. I had a buddy stop over, and he brought beer. I didn't drink any actually because I was so damn into that, and I'm glad he's a really good friend of mine. I'm glad he stopped by. I don't get to hang out with a lot of my local friends anymore because I'm so busy doing this. They're all out partying and doing stuff like that, and I'm working on cars. Not that I don't like that, but I actually got, if you saw the pictures on my community page, I got Javi running perfect, like it, all by ear, Yoda. And basically the vacuum gauge because my harmonic balancer's off. I don't know, and I ain't changing it. I'm lazy. But I did get new springs in the back, new leaf springs. It was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be in trouble. But my son seems to think I'm a boomer. And no, that is not correct. I'm Gen X. That's why you're always scared to death of me. Because I don't care. I'll beat your face into the wall. Kid or not. I'm kidding, YouTube. I'm kidding. Oh, what do we got going on in here? What you? Yeah, I mean, I haven't done leaf springs for a while. The only thing that sucked is I brought profane bushing kit for that thing last year, and I never did put the rears in for the springs because the springs, they dance like this when it's going over a that's what the springs look like when you just rocking it back and forth and it'd catch the transmission and do that. So I knew they were junk, so I got new springs, Dayton springs actually, off of eBay, and they fit perfectly. I didn't have any problems except for getting those damn, the hangers through those new Prothane bushings. Man, wow, they suck. But I took it for a drive today. It was too late last night. I didn't get to take it for a drive, but I took it for a drive today, and it was pretty good. It don't go rattle, rattle, boom, boom, sound like a Mopar, It didn't sound like a Mopar going over tracks anymore. So, back to American Motors now. See ya, Hunter. Just when we were going to start talking about LS swapping. All right. Yeah, sleep tight, Hunter. Don't let the LS bugs bite. I have a feeling he's going to end up with an LS. He goes trying to rebuild a Pontiac. Whew. Anywho. Oh, I ain't allowed to say that. That's copyrighted. Yeah. You're going to dream about it tonight, buddy. Sorry. Putting that in your head. I'm going to bring you an LS for your Pontiac, and you're going to swap it out. And you're going to throw that Pontiac motor in the garbage. You just scrap it. Yeah. Now he's going to stick around because I just pissed him off. I did get me one of these fancy, one of them things, but I didn't have to use it. And it said non-returnable if the seal is broken. Well, it came like that. I put the seal back on it. And it's amazing to me. It comes in a Plano freaking fishing tackle container. So, yeah. But I did all my testing and stuff, and I do think that it could probably use some rear jets. It could use some secondaries, but it's not a race car, y'all. It's a 304. Torquey as hell, but pretty sure Turtle could outrun it, missing a leg. Oh, yeah, Will, what happened to it? Well, hello, Johnny Slick. Appreciate you coming. You got me on a tired night. I'm worn the hell out. I was so worn out. I got up this morning, ran out of the house to my damn semi because I was running behind. Got all the way about 40 miles from here. Went in to go. I had to think about it, and I always stop at the same place to get fuel. And I reached down to get my wallet out of my little console on the side, that this little homemade redneck console in my Kenworth. I left my wallet at home. Now I'm already 30, 40 miles from home, and I'm on my way up by Chicago. And then it dawned on me that I took my wallet out of my pocket and put it on the table where I got like a centerpiece where I work on the two cars. That table is just sitting out there. Ain't nothing in it but over, a couple of credit cards that ain't got no room left on them because, AMC and Pontiac. But so I had to get me a damn comm check so I could get me some cigarettes and something to drink. And Will, that's when I had my thing. I had told you, he had mentioned on a thing of mine. He posted on one of my videos that this had happened to his truck. About 2 years ago, I was sliding the tandems just to back into a spot up here north of me in Arcola, Illinois. It's an Amish company. And I went to pull on them, and my motor has so much torque, it's 1800, that every drive shaft broke off the freaking, my brain, I'm tired, y'all. It broke off all the U-joint mounts, everything, twisted the drive shaft, and it actually cracked the rear tail shaft bearing race. Just fucking disintegrated it. I mean, they pulled the back of that transmission off, and it all just come falling out. It's bad. Yeah, you know what? They still make them, man, but now it's all computerized. You don't have to fill out a check. You just give them the number. Of course, they charge you $25 freaking dollars, but I didn't have a choice. I needed my damn cigarettes and my Monster. What's up, Colleen? But yeah, everything's gotten ridiculous. Fuel can't seem to make up its mind. Remember how fuel used to fluctuate like a few cents a day here, a day there? No. It freaking, now it's up at this place I get it, it was $3.95 today. 2 days ago, it was $3.72. What, you know, I liked it a whole lot better when we was using our own oil. We'll just say that. Yeah, I don't need that much torque. I run a straight line to Chicago and back. No, there's people in here, but they're busy. I mean, if they want to come on, they can. Hasn't camera so quickly. What? You don't need it. Just throw the damn thing together and mash the gas. You're not the pomade guy? Oh. Steve's at work. Well, yep. Trying to read through everybody's stuff. By the way, Functional History's video on Artemis comes out tomorrow. There's a premiere. I don't remember what time. You're gonna have to put it up there what time it is, because I know what it is, but yeah, my son's seen the movie. Meyer. We thought you was a toad. Yeah, this is what I just went through a couple weeks ago. And people don't realize every day the truck sits is thousands. Can be thousands for the wheels to just sit. And like, I'm going on power tour. So we'll leave Saturday and I'll be back the next Sunday. So not only the whole cost of power tour, but I also lose about $1,300 to $1,400 a day. So if you think about that, let's say after fuel and costs, say you're bringing in, I'm going to throw a number out there, say $4,000. That's gone. It's gone. So it sucks. I don't get paid vacation. I do get paid well, but as you can see by my videos, all that money goes right into this channel. I've been kind of stagnant lately too. I haven't really done a lot, mostly maintenance stuff that I need to get done. But in a couple weeks, there's going to be a pretty cool video coming out on my channel that involves one person right here and some crazy ass redneck from outside of Kansas City, Missouri, with the holiest goat you've ever seen. So that's coming out on my channel, and it's a hoot. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's a hoot. I've been working on it already because I'm so excited to get it out. Oh, power tour don't slip away from nobody. Yeah, it was a blast, Buff. The ride home for me wasn't a blast. We were outside of me and Zeppelin. We're in my pickup, and we were headed home, and I was just going to stop and get a hotel right north of where Pole Barn Garage is. And I didn't take into account that the NFL draft was that weekend. So there wasn't one hotel room available from Kansas City all the way to damn near St. Louis, except there was a couple of higher end ones, and I'd walk in at 2:00 in the morning and they'd say $200, $245. I was only going to be there for like 4 hours. I was like, the hell with this. And they would say they're sorry, they just can't lower it because it's off. I said, well, you know what? You're supposed to be here for, you're supposed to provide a service. I told the one dude, he was kind of a snippy prick. And I told the one dude, you're supposed to be providing a service to travelers, but yet you're gouging them like you're the Biden administration. But we won't go into that. And I did find another place. I can't remember the name of the town, Kingdom City, or no, it was before Kingdom City. I can't remember. But anyway, I thought, Red Roof Inn, so I took a left and there was a bunch of cars, but it looked like it said vacancy, And I pulled in there and I was getting an eyeball from a couple of guys that were parked in the middle of the lane that I wanted to go down. One of them took off and stared at me as he went by. And the other guy went and turned around. And I pull into this thing, and it looked like The Walking Dead next to this hotel. And there's some woman, carrying 2 freaking garbage bags of shit into the front lobby, and it looked like an all-night party circa the plague. Looked like these. One guy was walking, looked like he's trying to kick his own ass in circles, and. Now, we ended up getting 30 miles outside of St. Louis. I pulled her into a rest stop and locked the doors, leaned her back. Zeppy was already asleep, and then we drove the rest of the way home. Yeah, I told Dalton next time I'll just grab my I got a 33-foot frickin' fifth wheel camper out there. I'll just hook it to that truck and I'll go out there and stay. The thing is he'd probably let me stay there, but I don't want to impose. I just, if I was like slobbering drunk, yeah, that'd be different. But I was perfectly able to go, and I needed to get as close to home as possible because I'm a busy, busy person. Hey, Tony. There's our food service guy. Thank you very much for that, too. I'm going through some stuff. So I wonder if old kind of missing mongrels tonight. He must be working now. They probably put his ass back to work. Hey, LNA, how you doing, man? Welcome to the shit show. Not actually a shit show. We're just messing around. Dayton, Ohio area, huh? One of my favorite places in Dayton is the Aircraft Museum over there. Been years since I've been in there, but I have a big need and love to see old school World War II warbirds, but I'm scared to death flying. That's how it is. Suds, what'd you say? Huh. Neat. Hey, Scott. I say I ain't been there for years, man. I went there with my dad one time because he he worked. He was in the Air Force during the Korean War, and they still use some old P-51 Mustangs up on the Bering Strait. When they'd run, they didn't have to have quiet time. And let's just face it, the aircraft of the Korean War, other than the Corsair and there was some other ones, but the P-51, he said he loved that thing. He absolutely loved P-51 Mustangs, and so did I. I've sat in one. I've been around them when they fly, and I saw a tribute flight of an F-22 and a P-51 and a F-4 or is it F-14 Tomcat and a B-29 bomber. It was just the baddest. Yeah, the F-4U Corsair is a bad sumbitch too. They sound like you got a whole bunch of coaches' whistles when they go by you. They're pretty wild.
So,
well, thought you was headed to like Germany or something.
that's not till May 13th.
Oh,
So in a week. But I'm going to England, France, and Germany.
well, are you doing that for learning stuff or?
Yeah, I'm going over there to teach some classes, and I'll be back about a week and a half before Power Tour.
Yeah.
Which is why I've been raging on this truck as much as I have.
Yeah, I think other than cleaning Javi out, and I might try to jet it a little different, maybe get some more oomph out of it for the mountains. But the reason I bought this because we'll be going through the mountains.
Yeah.
So I don't know how she'll react climbing all that crap. I'm going to bring a extra fuel pump because evidently nobody makes a good one anymore. I'm just, I don't know. Parts right now piss me off because everything's bad.
Yeah, I'm actually, speaking of fuel pumps, I replaced the one in the Silverado, but I'm cutting a hole in the bed and putting an access door just in case, because the only other way to get to it is to lift the freaking bed off again. And so, and
yeah.
I texted you a picture earlier of my fabric cobbled tail light setup because I'm going to drive it around for a few days without the bed on, just in case anything happens. A little shakedown.
Well, you'll make his neighbors happy.
Maybe.
Truck's moving.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we dealt with that already. I think putting the tent up and putting covers on the tent seemed to appease the lawmen.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of working on this Jeep, and then I got the Javelin, which is the main thing because we got a month basically, and you figure a month, and I got three shows, as in music shows.
Yeah.
On 3 of the weekends yet before Power Tour. So I got to get whatever the hell I can get done as quick as I can. But then again, I also don't want to just, get in such a hurry I screw up.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at because, going to Germany or going over to Europe for 2.5 weeks is for work is good, but at the same time, it's cutting into prep time.
Yeah. Well, there's, the priority. Still got to pay the bills.
Yeah, I get paid for going over there and doing that. So people are like, oh, it's free vacation. I'm like, not really. I get a few days. I get a few days in there, but
that's like me saying, oh, wow, you get to go to Chicago every day. We love Chicago.
You're
No.
like, woo, whoop-de-doo. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the bean and the bull. I see, Walking Dead and dead bodies
Oh,
and
yeah.
the actual Chicago, where the
I had one of
nicest
those.
thing in the neighborhood is the cemetery.
Yeah. I had one of the worst experiences of my life going through Chicago. So, you ever, driving along in Chicago, traffic's pretty bad. You know, it can be bad. It's not like DC bad or God, Atlanta. I don't know what's wrong with Atlanta, but anyway, um, so I was delivering a Pro Tools rig, a big recording system, up to Bemidji, Minnesota. I mean, just middle of nowhere. It was this big giant Christian music festival, and I went up there for like 4 days and recorded the whole thing. And I was on my way back, and I was passing through Chicago. I got stuck in traffic, and I had to use the bathroom like it was nobody's business. And I was just stuck there. And I remember I was right next to Soldier Field, and I was like, I can see it. There's like hundreds of bathrooms in that giant building, and I can't fricking get to it. So, it was miserable, man.
That's why I keep bottles in there.
Yeah, I wasn't smart enough to do that, I guess. I mean, that was years ago. That was probably 2006. So,
Yeah,
it's been a while.
getting stuff in traffic sucks.
Yeah.
It. I really haven't had that problem for a while because let's just say I used to go to Chicago a lot in a Trans Am actually, and I know all the back roads and I know all the roads. For me as a trucker, I know all the roads where they've got the bridges marked low bridge.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Yeah.
So I can get around things pretty quick. And then a lot of the stuff I do is already outside of, the worst parts, except for 294. I got to hit that one a lot, and that they're working on that constantly, and it sucks.
Yeah, the traffic's getting pretty bad here in Nashville. I'm like, people, please quit moving here.
Right.
I know that
Yeah.
there's a lot of jobs here and stuff, but nuts. I mean, it used to take me maybe 30, 35 minutes to get from my house to downtown where the university is, but now it's like some days it's an hour 15. And I live 22 miles from work.
Yeah. Trying to figure out something here.
Well, yep.
Yep, there we go. I always forget to put the damn regular YouTube up in the browser, so I don't know what's going on. And
Yeah,
then,
with the chat and stuff.
yeah, because it's like backwards.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Tony. Well, that's awesome. Oh man, what's going on up north?
Well, I was just putting the heads on the Monte Carlo, and as my son was out working on his '67 Parisienne, so I was helping him on the Pontiac.
Oh, your Pontiac Chevy?
Yeah, the pseudo Pontiac. Yeah. He came up with a little plan that we're going to see if we can pull it off or not. I'm not going to disclose what that is yet, but he's pretty excited about working on the car right now, so I don't want him to lose the interest in it. So,
yeah, I think I'm still going to have to buy a carburetor for that Javelin.
oh, really?
Yeah, because I got the thing, dialed. This thing is right on. The plugs are damn near perfectly white with just black around the ring, and I'm like, man, but when it's sitting there idling, it's like you hear a miss once in a while, but it's not an electrical miss. It just sounds like the carb's not, like something got messed up in it, because I had it all apart and I cleaned it out, but
yeah,
at idle it does that. Now if you're going down the road, everything's fine. If you're going down the road, hard pulls, it screams, not fast, but it screams.
yeah.
And I've had her I did 3 hard pulls at 5,500 because I'm like, you son of a bitch, you're going to blow. You're going to do it now. This is my build, So I'm
Yeah.
like, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it now. And it didn't, boy, it didn't miss a lick. Get home, pulled plug, one on each bank, just kind of randomly, and they look fantastic. But when
That's
you
awesome.
get down to idle, it just,
Really?
yeah. It's not I know it's not the cam, like a flat cam lobe or something. It's something just sounds carbureted. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
but if you're
Well,
going, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It pulls good. It's got good vacuums, got good everything.
yeah. Did you check for vacuum leaks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's something in the carburetor, like an orifice or something. Maybe
Yeah.
something got cracked over the winter. Maybe it had some fluid in it. It's like water in the fuel or something, and it may have cracked something in there in that idle circuit.
Could have
I don't
been.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen it happen. I mean, how many times have I bitched about a Holly with their frickin' metering blocks? Come warped right from the
Yeah.
factory and all that kind of crap. And I never had trouble with an Edelbrock at all. Not
You know
one.
what? You know what? I don't have too much trouble with fuel injection.
Yeah, well, goddamn fuel injector costs more than a car I bought.
Yeah, well, so that's not true. I have trouble with fuel injection too. I like the troubles with it more than I do with the carburetors. Oh, Buff's trying to buy a Jeep now. Didn't he just buy a van?
And I think they really want one with the doors off and they get decent mileage. No, Buff. They're the Jeeps, real Jeeps, not this Fiat crap that you're seeing out there now. Real Jeeps get horrible fuel mileage, like 6, 7.
Yeah, they have a tractor engine in them, buddy. If that 4 liter is just an old tractor engine, basically.
Well, mine have all got 2 of them are 258s, which even when they're brand new, they sound like they got rods knocking in them.
Yeah.
And then I got the one that Amber's is a 304, but it's built. That sucker, it'll break torque. One big old 33s will just start spinning.
Yeah.
There you go. LS swap a Jeep.
There you go. Yeah. Why not?
Hey, people do it. They used to be the old go to a 350. That was the old go-to. They make a plate that just turns it around. It's a plate for the transmission, and then you get the mounts for the motor mounts, and you don't really have to change anything.
Well, it's funny. My buddy had a Jeep Wrangler that he had a Chevy 350, and he did a Vortec head swap on. I'm trying to remember I think he must have sold it because I don't remember seeing it around lately. It must be gone. But that was kind of a neat Jeep.
I just like the ones with the old AMC engines in them, especially with side pipes, like air mufflers. It just sounds like a Jeep to me,
Well, it was funny because when I gave my son the Parisienne, I gave him the keys for it. He proceeded to take him to his mom's place, and they've never come back. So I have a spare ignition key, but I didn't have a spare door trunk key. So he climbed into the trunk behind the back seat today, and he undid all the bolts to unbolt the trunk latch. He got the trunk open. And I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to crawl back there, but he did it. So we got the trunk open on it, and he proceeded to clean the whole trunk out. We took the rubber floor mat up. I'm like, oh, you're lucky that trunk held you at all. There's not much. It's pretty rusty under. I don't remember it being that rusty, but the good thing is the frame's still in good shape, so it should be.
Yeah. Damn it! I always forget about the J10.
Oh yeah,
J10 with a 360 in it.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, go out there and put a battery right now, it'll fire right up.
What are you gonna do with that? Your Jeep?
I'm gonna put needs a clutch. Yeah. I'm gonna put a clutch in it, and there's no holes in the floorboard. The cab's solid, doors shut nice.
Nice.
So I'm probably just gonna put new tires on it, and I thought about lifting it and putting some bigger tires on and stuff, but I don't think I want to touch it. The truck is all original. You
I
know?
want it. As soon as you start doing that, you get into all sorts of other issues, right?
Yep.
And unless you're out actually taking it through the mountains or going through the rocks, then you don't really need to do that. You're just being harder on the drive line. You're being harder on fuel. You're just being harder on brakes, harder on everything. And I don't think you really need to do that. Just enjoy it
Yeah.
as is.
I'm gonna think about it. I already got all I gotta do is make the phone call and I can get the tires for it. But I just need to get a clutch in it. But I'm so busy with the Javelin right now. But yeah, Tony, that you say that with that fiberglass tubs, I thought about doing that with this good Jeep I got out here. Put a fiberglass tub on it because Amber don't go mudding and stuff like that. So I thought I'd, fix her up a really nice one. Just swap all the stuff out of this red Jeep and maybe sell the metal body. But I've done that before. I actually had I had two 78 and a 79. The 79 I had when I was in high school. I was like a junior in high school, whatever. I swapped a fiberglass tub on it. Pretty simple, man. There ain't no simpler than a Jeep, CJ.
So this is why I don't know if we can see this or not. Oh, get the stupid reflex, but check that out. That's why we're changing the heads on the Monte Carlo.
Oh, oh, that actually looks like it moved.
Yeah,
like it's not even just a crack. It's like the whole damn metal shifted.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That looks like that boat motor I took out. The boat that I traded for this Javelin, that happened. It cracked the block and the heads.
Oh, okay.
I thought I had it winterized, and apparently not.
I'm happy that I found that, though, because I don't like getting into something and not being able to find the cause.
Right.
And then you're sitting there going, well, did I fix it or didn't I? So when you see something like that, you're pretty certain of, okay, yeah, that's why it's pumping coolant into the combustion chamber.
Has that got 350 or 305?
It does have a 350. They transplanted a 350 in it. They pulled the 305 out because I think it got sugar in the gas tank or they blew it up or something. And he told me that this was blowing up when I bought it. I'm like, that's okay. And I did get it running because I did that whole AI Monte Carlo bit where we got it running. As soon as I put coolant in it, it was just pumping it out the exhaust. So
yeah,
I already got some rebuilt heads on it and stuff. Okay, functional history.
Hey, what time is that tomorrow when that comes out? Isn't it like 5? He's got Artemis.
He's got Artemis. I seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
That had to be a nightmare. That's all I got to say. I was actually looking for Pontiac 68 Pontiac Bonnevilles myself to send to them because there is none. None. 6 p.m. Eastern, so 5 o'clock Central. Yeah, I don't know. I think the only way you could about do it is you would have to, if you wanted it right, you'd have to get some kind of a thing, for his printer, his 3D printer. But then you got to find a body long enough because that sucker's long. When you look at it, I don't think his little packaging thing he makes is, he'd have to get like an extra large one or one of them boxes.
Well, the Parisienne is the sister car to the Bonneville. Well, it's the Canadian version of it. I know how big that car is in its standard form, let alone in the, well, I've seen Artemis, of course, in person. So that's a big car. You're talking over 20 feet long of car.
Yeah. It's big. Even with the extra frame in it, man, when you jack up the front, it does this number.
Yep.
It's like trying to pick up all that weight. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to get underneath this. Tried to fall on me twice. So
I picked up my other vehicle that I'm going to be working on too.
Oh yeah, you got the Ram Air
Yeah, I got it home.
convertible.
Yep.
Wow.
So it's
See,
got
you
the
got
white.
all the cool cars up there. All I got straight garbage.
No, you got some neat stuff. I loved riding in that Javelin. That was so cool, man. I still,
Boy, it
still
rides
think.
nice now.
Yeah, I
Holy
bet.
crap, does it ride nice? Go over tracks, it don't sound like a Dodge, like I said. You go over the tracks and it's like do, you know, instead of like you taking all your silverware and throwing it up on a concrete floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right, Dan. They didn't have the wide track on the Canadian versions because they were on a Chevy platform.
Yeah. It is a big
And
car. That's the other thing. I'm pretty sure other than the carb thing, and I was gonna fix the body for a power tour. I don't want to dig into something I've never done before, right before power tour. I'd rather it just stay the way it is. Yet the only other thing I'm going to do to that is if I decide to get a different carb for it, just to try it because I need another carb anyway.
yeah,
So I thought about that, and then it needs a drag link and not the Pitman arm, the other arm,
the idler.
idler.
Yeah,
It needs both of those. It don't need them, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to change out the frickin' bearings on that, the front wheel bearings, like now.
yeah,
Because I lost 2 on Power Tour.
yeah. I remember you talking
And
about
I want to be able to test drive it. So I'll probably get Amber and Zeppy or whoever wants to go. And we'll take off and go to, wherever 100 miles away. And the rear end's still noisy. It just whines. Nothing's bad in it. It's just needs rebuilt is what
Yeah.
it needs. But
Yeah,
I rode it that whole power tour last year like that, and it was fine. So this year it sounds exactly the same. It's just got a better locker in it. I'm just going to drive it. I'm not going to worry about it.
nice. Have a good night.
Well,
Colin.
my power steering is whining, and now I've got an alternator that whistles, so it sounds like I have a turbo and a supercharger.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
You got a Ford power steering pump.
Hey, I've been knocking on the Fords lately on the shorts, and I've lost a couple of viewers. So
Oh, look at there. Really? That's awesome.
oh,
GS
cool.
450. Woo.
That's quite the compression ratio.
That's getting up there.
Yep.
Well, since you love GS, find me a 67 GS frickin' front fender, right? Front fender. I'd really like to just put another one on. I mean, I can bend this one out. Look what I did with the hood. I think I can handle the fender, or the roof. The roof was problem is I lost half the footage of putting the windshield in.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. I think my computer lost it, but
Oh, that
a little
sucks.
thing he did, but it's fine. But yeah, I can bend it out. I just I'd really like to just find a Skylark or a GS fender, but it's got to be 67. Has to be. You can make 66s fit, but it's still off. You have to mess with them in a way to get them to fit the hood, not like the hood's going to fit anyway. But Javi is an auto. It's got a 727 in it.
Buff's off. Have a good one, Buff.
See you, Buff. Yeah, Javi's an automatic. It's what the hell did they call it in AMC? It's not torque command.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like him her as an auto.
Well, it's a lot nicer for just cruising, and an automatic's a much nicer for just if you're just going to cruise. Well, let's face it, it's a little bit better for bracket racing and stuff too. But
of course, you can plug away. Wait a minute. What kind of plug?
Yeah, just be careful.
We're a family show here, goddammit.
Buff put the link to the Functional Histories Artemis build there.
Yeah, he did. I think he can do that on mine, can't he?
Well, it's not a no. I don't think it's a link, but it's a copy and paste, anyways. Should be
Yeah.
able to do that. Yeah, there it is.
Can't remember us on an email. What are you talking about? You're confusing me. God dang, it's already 10 o'clock.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Well, time flies when you can't feel your legs.
Yeah.
Your head.
I don't feel anything anymore.
Well, the problem is I feel my back too much.
Oh. And all my cardboard, that I use, go underneath the cars and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I left a bunch of that out and it got wet.
Uh-oh.
So I had 2 little pieces of cardboard. And last night when I was working on the Javelin, I'd have to shove one there and turn this way, get on it, work on something, shove it back, because now I got broken up asphalt everywhere. It ain't like I haven't put anything on it to roll it down.
Yeah.
And I'd go to put my damn jack underneath and the asphalt comes up over the top of it. It's like shot myself in the foot on that one.
Fun. Oh, man.
But the asphalt's a lot nicer to lay on than freaking 1-inch stone, I'll tell you that.
Yes, it is. Where's your tin?
What?
Where's your corrugated tin?
Yeah, I don't need to be raw. I just got like cuts in it, and then I'd end up looking like I got in a fight or tried to give a cat a bath.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple foam pads that I bought just for that reason, because same thing. The cardboard get wrecked or whatnot, and then if it doesn't really pad you from the stones too much,
Well, I was in my Rural King the other day, and I was stumbling over to get some dog food or some crap, and I saw them big horse mats, like they come out in a roll. They're like this damn thick. I was like,
they're like really thick. Yeah.
So yeah, that might be my next.
That would be good. They're heavy though.
2 big rolls of that down and just pull the car over the top of it. It'll hold the weight of the car.
Oh, it will.
And that'd be a lot easier on my old ass back.
Yep.
Like I'm feeling it right now. My whole body hurts. My hands hurt. I'm beat to hell because I had to take the old El Kabong and a chisel or a big old pry bar and stick it up over the exhaust underneath the fender to get a hold of that shackle with that prothane. And I greased them up and had to take a hammer and smack that sucker until it got in there all the way. I must have hit my damn hand 20 times.
I've watched you use a hammer and I've seen you hit your hand. you don't go easy on it. I'm surprised you haven't broke your hand, honestly.
I had to walk about 50 yards to pick up my freaking dead blow.
Oof.
I hit my hand and she said, luckily there weren't any dogs or cars in the way, or I thought I'd threw it all the way to the pond next to my house, but no, it didn't quite make it that far.
No. A dead blow still hurts, but not as much as the ball peen.
Oh yeah, ball peen's worse. Or a framing hammer.
Oh,
Framing hammer, there it is. Oh.
That
I didn't have all the fancy tools years ago. I just had, you had one hammer. Dad had one hammer, and you could do everything with it. Even use it as a pry bar.
Yeah, or meat tenderizer.
Yeah, definitely. Bone breaker.
Yeah.
Yes, Rural King is basically a whole lot better Tractor Supply. Big R stores, it's kind of the same thing.
I think
Fleet, yeah.
I think our version up here is PV Mart.
PB?
PV.
Oh, V.
Yeah. I think it's spelled Pevey. PB mark.
Huh. Yeah, they got the cheapest dog food and stuff. Because my dogs, they like the cheap stuff. They don't get all fancy crap. Now you go, it's like people go to buy food for their dogs, and it's like they spend $40 on a side of beef, or
Yeah.
beef-like substance that's in a can. It's in the freezer section, and meanwhile the dog's licking his ass outside.
Yeah, we
You
put it
know,
that way.
like a dog will eat anything.
Oh yeah.
This dog I got in here, Rowdy, Amber's dog, he'll eat everything.
Yeah.
You put anything in his face, carrot, you name it, he'll eat it.
Yeah, Canadian Tire. I do like that store. It's a staple for a long time. It's got pretty much everything in it.
Well, see you, Don.
Oh, have a good night, Don.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I'm actually looking for a new bezel or gauge cluster for that Javelin too.
Are you?
Yeah, it was so bad when I kind of made it work. I had to take all, you know how they got the little thing on the back, just like Ford has, where you stick the lights
plastic?
inside it,
Yeah.
and none of them worked. That whole freaking thing was junk. And now the fuel gauge quit working completely. So I'm trying to find one. Otherwise, we're going to have to guess, and we'll be guessing on fuel in the mountains.
Well, didn't you have a whole yard full of other javelins and stuff that you had
I'm
access
going to try to make it up there, but I gotta. He's retired, and he actually refurbishes pinball machines.
Ooh,
Or
cool.
goes all over the frickin' country working on these things. He's supposed to be retired, but he's so busy, and I don't want to go up there when he ain't there. I know where they're at. I'm just not going on his property without him there. But
you know what? I'm gonna have to next time No Name Nationals. I'll talk to you. We'll see what type of financial situation in, because if you can find an F-14 Tomcat, I'd love to have one of those pinball machines.
oh, I remember those.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Kiss one years ago.
Yeah.
At the garage. It was broke.
Okay. Yeah, what was it? This F-14 Tomcat was a very popular one, and Outrun or something like that, I think, was another one that was fairly popular. I know there's another one.
When I was a kid, when I was like 16, one of the most popular ones was Star Trek.
Okay,
there was a Star Trek one that was just awesome. Everybody played it.
Really?
Yeah, there was a couple of them like that.
Well,
There's a few places around here that still have pinball machines.
Actually, the town near me has a retro arcade that I got to go check out. Because I think it has the old games in it, like the Asteroids and the Space Invaders and all the pinball and all that
what
stuff.
You got to find is a Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I remember playing that sucker. I would spend hours playing Dungeons and Dragons. There'd be a line behind us.
You come put your quarters on it, so you got dibs. Yeah.
That one and Double Dribble. Or not Double Dribble. NBA Jam.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There was another one, Track and Field, where you had a trick where you'd take a pencil and you'd hold it in your fingers like that right there, and you'd do something with it, and it kind of like I do with the drumstick on a snare drum. It would bounce it back off and down, and it'd make the legs run as fast as they can go. Somebody come up with that trick.
Do you ever play an Excite Bike?
Oh yeah, had the little besides the Nintendo version, but it had the handlebars on it where you had to
And then
I had a game. There was a game at the Knights of Columbus Hall in my hometown called Afterburner.
Yeah.
It was like one of the coolest games to ever come out back in
That
the
was
day.
the one that you sat down in, and it actually had the throttle and
Yeah.
the stick, and it
They
was an
made two
F1.
versions. They made the sit down in the console. It was one of the first ones ever.
Yeah.
And then they also had it where you're standing up. The coolest thing about that game is you could do a barrel roll. And the whole thing, I mean, if you could get it to do a barrel roll, you were,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you were
Well,
in.
I think I found a version of that was actually full motion.
Oh,
It was like a gyroscopic mounted one, and it would
God.
actually rock and turn and twist, and it was like, holy smokes. Yeah, I remember Afterburner.
I'm trying to think of all them old games I used to play.
Well, Gauntlet was the quarter eater.
Yeah.
Yep. Blue
Yeah.
Wizard needs food badly.
Yeah.
I
I remember that one. Dude, I remember when there was Pac-Man sit down tabletop at Pizza Hut.
Yep.
Pizza Hut had these things exclusively down here.
Yep.
And you could just play Pac-Man. We had air hockey, foosball.
Yep.
And then that basketball hoop thing came out. That was when I was a kid.
I remember I spent a lot of quarters on some games. There's one game, I can't remember what it was called, but you were like a warrior or a knight. You could pick your different character, and you'd fight the other one, and you'd knock their armor off the other character. I'm trying to remember what that game was called, Gladiator or something like that. But I remember it was the one, and there was a couple of women warrior in there, and if you knew the secret code, you could actually cut her bra off or something like that. So all the kids were trying to. That was the big time, is trying to get the get the bra off the one character.
Donkey Kong was a big one.
Yeah, Donkey Kong.
God, I'd have to go back. Oh, my favorite one was Joust.
Joust was good. Yeah,
Joust was my favorite game. I'd play that. We got that on one of them little mini things in the house, and I'll play it once in a while.
Well, Cubert was. It's amazing what we would play. You just the little guy hopping up the pyramid, basically, right? And trying to avoid the snakes. And it's simple games, but they were very entertaining.
I had a game on an original Nintendo, the first version Nintendo game system, called Battle Frogs.
Yeah.
And I just want to find it. It's nowhere. Nobody has it. I've been wanting it. I don't even have a damn old gaming system anymore. The old.
Yeah.
And I don't have it no more, but I love that game. Because you'd kick, and it'd be a little foot, and if you got them on a third one, it was this great big foot, and it'd smack them off and you had jet skis that you went through the damn sewers with.
Yep.
God, all those old games.
Oh yeah, they were a lot of fun back then. That's for sure. I'm just trying to see if I can find that one that I was thinking of. Yeah, it was called Gladiator.
Gladiator, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. But yeah, you just a couple nights fight, and you knock each other's armor off till you kill the other guy.
Shit, I had Pole Position.
Yeah.
On Atari.
I spent a lot of hours on Spy Hunter.
Yeah. E.T.
Oh,
which was one of the worst games in history.
That was awful.
We had, I seen one sold really expensive. It was a black box about this big, the old box games. Yeah. And all it had on it was a speed and a steering wheel, and it had a little glass car, and the thing rotated in it, and you had to try to miss all the cars in it, and it would get faster and faster and faster. And then if you hit one, it would bang, and the little car would go red. It had a little counter on it.
Yeah.
And you would just see how long you could go, how many seconds or minutes you could go. And one sold for like freaking $125. I had this game when I was a kid, and that little football game that you just little dots.
Yeah.
You had to try to, yeah. I even had Tecmo Bowl. And I figured out that every time you hike the ball,
yeah.
if you ran to the opposing end zone and chucked it, you'd get a touchdown every time.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
ColecoVision.
Coleco, yeah. I've still got one. I've got my Atari and I've got my Coleco, and they both still work.
Yeah, mine are all gone. My friggin' cousin up in Addison, Illinois, he had the Atari, what is it, the 5200?
Okay.
It had the little pad that had the things on it and a roller ball, and they didn't make them very long, but he had one of them. And another buddy of mine had an Odyssey. Odyssey was another gaming system.
I remember something about that, yeah.
Like an Atari.
Well, I had most of them growing up at one point or another. I mean, I had I had Pong to start with.
Yeah, that's what, right along there. He just said that. I had Pong, and if he had the right one, it also had kind of Atari had battle tanks that I think it came with every freaking system, but it had one on there just like that.
Yeah.
It had this little game where you'd have to shoot at each other. Defender, that was another one.
Defender, yeah. There was Coleco had some cool, like Frontline. I think Coleco had Frontline. That was kind of fun. Because you had the army guys that would have some tanks and stuff in that. I think it was called that. And then I got into the Sega Genesis, and then the Sony PlayStation came out, the Nintendo, all that stuff. Had all of them.
I've had all the Nintendos, including the Cube.
Yep.
And what was that one in between the Cube and
NES? Super NES? No, that was the Cube was after the Super NES.
The Cube was after the 64.
I remember it kind of had that curve to it. And
yeah.
It's the N64, wasn't it?
No, that was they had the regular NES, and then they had the Super NES, the 64,
and then
the GameCube, and then they had that one in between it and the ones that are out now, the Switch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Wii.
The Wii, yes.
And then there was one more. That's right. They had the Wii, and then there's one more.
Wii U.
The Wii U. That's it. The Wii U, and then the Switch. And I got one of the new Switches for Zeppy for Christmas. And good Lord. Talk about getting expensive. Ain't nothing like, of course, with the Xbox, you can just use your computer.
Yeah. Well, we got a question here. What was our first car? Eh? Well, my son has my first car, and that's that 67 Parisienne.
I had, the very first car that I bought with my own money, I was 14, and it was a 66 Mustang Coupe, Sprint 200 automatic. Pooch of a car, but I worked on that all the way up until I got my driver's license. As soon as I got my driver's license, I bought a CJ7 Jeep 79 Renegade. It was yellow with the 258 4-speed. And then 3 weeks after I bought that Jeep, I bought my 83 Fox Body. And I had all three cars.
Huh. Well, the first car I bought with my own money, I bought at an auction, and it was I think a 71 Ford station wagon. And wow. I think I was maybe 13 or 14 at the time, and I bought that station wagon, and then it's like the Ford Ranch wagon or something like that. I can't remember what it was, or the Country Squire. It must have been Country Squire. But anyways, I bought it, and then I sold it. I doubled my money on it.
Yeah.
And then because I couldn't drive it anyways. It wasn't old enough. But it ran good, and I sold it to someone, and they wanted it for something. And then the Parisienne was my first car, but it was not the first one I ever had as a driving car. And when I did finally get it running and driving, it lasted a whole couple days, and then I blew the engine out, and then it got parked again.
My 200, that Mustang, that 200 stayed in there about 6 months. Because I didn't have my license anyway. My mom always wanted a Mustang, so she would drive it.
Oh, okay.
And I would take it out and drive it illegally. I just get in it and take off. Nobody said nothing. Mom, Dad, nobody said nothing. I'd go to cruise route with all my friends, and we're all underage.
Yeah.
Cops didn't say a word. But I got sick of when I hit the gas, it I was like, this sucks. Because everybody in my hometown had hot rods, all the people I grew up with. So I found a 289. I rebuilt a 289. I actually took that out. Dad wouldn't buy a damn engine stand or a cherry picker.
Yep.
So I had two where I'm from, everybody had two basketball poles. One of them was 10 foot. The other one was dunkable. Those kids would have dunk contests and stuff. Well, the one that was dunkable was made out of clothesline pole, basically oil rig pipe, Yeah. And he had it set up to you could loosen the bolt and lower it and put it up. It was heavy as hell, but you could do it. So I actually found a come along and some chain.
Holy crap.
And my dad sat on the back porch drinking beer watching me. Yeah. And I got that motor out, and I built that 289. I stuck it in there with a come along on my freaking basketball pole when I was 15.
Wow.
And he just sat there and watched. He wouldn't help me one bit. Yeah. He did it on purpose, Look, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it. It's just, he said, I ain't have nothing to do with that. 200, that thing runs. You don't need to be doing that.
Yep.
I took it up to a local shop, and they put exhaust pipes on it and straight pipes.
Yep.
I think they were 1 3/4. So it sounded, it sounded like a freaking popcorn popping.
Yeah.
But it ran good. The C4 it was an FMX. It didn't last long. It was used to that crappy old 200, and then I threw, another 100 horse on that thing, and it didn't like it.
No, I don't
didn't like it at all.
Yeah, it had an FMX in it, really. I thought it would have been a C4. So.
I think I don't remember. It may have been a C4. I can't remember.
See Wolfpack.
I do know that 200 was the first motor that I ever adjusted valves on. Because you just to do it when you take the valve cover off.
Yep.
You just get it started, and you go to each one and back her till she ticks, go till it stops, and then go a quarter turn.
Yep.
Some people go half, he went a quarter. Because it was worn out lifters. You don't know,
I'll be doing the same thing on that Monte Carlo when I do the hit. I'm not going to sit there with feeler gauge or anything. I'm gonna put them on the base circle, get rid of the play, and give it a half turn more, and call it good. Yeah. I'm not going to get crazy with it.
I don't know what I did with them, but I had a set of 350 valve covers with the tops cut off.
Yeah. Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
That way the oil don't get everywhere. Otherwise, I don't care if I lose oil. I just throw cardboard down on the sides. That way it goes to the back of the engine instead of right down the side. See you, Wolfpack.
Now, to finish off the previous comment, but the first car I actually bought that was mine under my name was my 78 Trans Am.
Oh, I remember you saying that.
Yeah. And then the list of cars I have owned since then is very extensive.
Yeah. I tried to count all my bodies the other day. And I would just go out, except for my first one. I kind of took care of it. Everything I had since, I'd go find one, tear the hell out of it, treat it like a 4x4. I'd tear the hell out of it and then get rid of it or junk it. Pretty sure the local junkyard over here that I get all my crap out of. I think he at least had 5 or 6 that I brought in there, and he junked because I just tore the hell out of them. I didn't put I didn't put frame connectors on them. I didn't. I had a big block down in there before big blocks were cool in Fox bodies.
Yeah,
I did it with I'd have somebody. I had one guy make me some motor mounts to put a big block in one of them Fox bodies, and I just kept moving it to the next car.
Well, you know the best thing about a Fox body Mustang is they're built very lightly. You want to know the worst thing about a Fox body Mustang? Is they're built very lightly.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, well.
Here.
It's a hell of a shop, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, it's better than one I got right now. I'm just outside, right in the elements, but it's finally nice up here, so it's all good.
Yeah, it was nice here today.
We were creeping up around probably 90 degrees today.
Holy cow! Yeah, I didn't get that warm here. Well,
my math could be off here. 30.
Sorry, you're watching a live hood placing.
Yeah.
Apparently, the lawnmower guy blew grass all over the top of the hood, so that's cool.
That's nice.
I'd say we were at about 85 today. So
well,
nice to get out.
I hate to chat and run, but I think I've had enough.
I'm so good. I just wanted to pop on for a little bit and say hi to everyone, and so sounds like a good time to me, Jay.
Hey, volunteer state, we're getting out of here. They ain't listening.
He's putting a hood on. He'll figure it out.
Yeah. Hey, Scott. He can't hear it. He'll figure it out pretty quick.
Yeah, he'll figure it out real quick. Yeah.
All right, what?
Hey, we're going to shut her down, son.
All right, man.
I need to get to bed.
Sorry, I had to get stuff going again. So
no, that's fine.
Good, man.
All right.
Good.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
See you later. Appreciate y'all. New video tomorrow. All that happy stuff.
Ooh, well, looking forward to that.
I'm working on the Holy Goat transmission video. So
nice.
It'll be fun. But we're out of here. See ya.